oversee defense education and skill development, financial services, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, information and communication technology, infrastructure, logistics, manufacturing, mining, power and energy, trade and diplomatic missions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have His Excellency Leonardo Senza Magazil. Let's put your hands together, everybody!
Good afternoon, Dr. Josh Tender, a colleague 3 times in order for me to be here this afternoon. Excellencies, business captains, I come from Malawi, the home heart of Africa, the land of great opportunities, yet not exploited. So Excellencies have been discussing here, informing you, we have this, we have that, but you know there's hidden land somewhere in Southeast Africa. Southeast Africa, the land that people do not know, but there's a hidden treasure. Because in those days, the British ruled the country for almost 100 years, but they never said there are minerals underground. But we have discovered them. So that's why we require investors to do mining, to do tourism, to make things happen there. Really, if you want to invest your money, you go to that place which there is no competition. Because you are going for competitors, then you have to pull up your socks on day one. But you go to Malawi, you will face the most stable democracy in that part of the world. No war since 1964, 57 years. No war. Change of governments come. The current government came in after the High Court and the Supreme Court annulled the votes of the sitting government. They told the president to come and go because of electoral fraud. And now we have a current. That's democracy. In other countries, it would have been war. So I come from that part of the world. Can you go into another slide? Another slide, please. I'll be very brief. I'll give a minute to each slide by nature of my training as a diplomat. I will not speak much, but to the point. So I'll specify where Malawi is. So Malawi is in this part, southern east of Africa. To the north, there's Tanzania. To the west, there's Mozambique. Going around this way, up to the south of Malawi. To the west, Mozambique and Zambia, that side. And far that end is the Indian Ocean. So our ports are in Tanzania, in the north, and then in Mozambique, the Beira and the Nakara port. Next slide. Very important to know about facts of a country when you want to invest. So we call ourselves warm heart of Africa because the people are very peaceful. I grew up without hearing a gunshot. I started knowing that people can shoot each other in the 90s. So I was born in the 60s. So you can imagine, went out of primary, secondary or high school, university, is when now you start seeing that there can be crime. So basically we have largely an agricultural economy where 80% of the 22 million people live in the rural areas, and those are subsistence farmers. So what we are looking for after now is to mechanize and industrialize our agriculture so that we can produce and add value. So if you're an agriculturalist, the government is establishing mega farms in that country so that we are able to export fully. We are also exporting finished products. So you are welcome in that area. And that's the area of Malawi, 118 That's the capital. But we have a unique feature in the country. If you go back to the map, that's the most beautiful lake in the world. Clean water, no salt, but it is not exploited at all. So tourism features, if you want to build hotels, go back to the other slide, the first one. Yeah. That lake is 29,600 kilometers. The whole of it, pure water. I've traveled elsewhere. I've been to Uganda, I've been elsewhere. I've never seen anything like this. So when you go, you are flying from here, you come from Addis, you connect 4 hours to the capital in Lilongwe. You go to GIBF, it's 2 hours, you connect to the capital in Lilongwe. You go to Addis, it's 4 hours. And you reach the corner there, and you'll be flying on top of the lake. You look there, so beautiful, pure water, but we need mechanized farming. You can pump, irrigate, produce rice. We also grow rice that side. So let's go further. We have had a very difficult time. 4 cyclones after COVID. You know what a cyclone is? Huge wind and rain. This year in March, the southern part, that down part, half of it, cyclone flame, emanating from Australia. It went into Mozambique. It crossed here, Indian Ocean, Mozambique, in 2 hours, wiped half of my country, destroyed infrastructure, roads, electricity systems. So we have been hammered hard, but we grew our GDP by 1%. So you can see that there's resilience of the economy. And that's why you see that the economic growth is not much. Next one. And now, I know, because people can't go into a country where they don't know, but there have been trade relations. And this is the trade. It's skewed positively towards you because you are a giant. And that's where you need to invest because the agreements are already there. So 168 million Malawi and India exports, but India sent to Malawi $120 million exports. But this mainly is in the pharmaceutical textiles area, electric vehicles, Ashok, Tata, Airtel in telecommunication, they have invested there. The other thing, my colleague Excellency from Uganda mentioned about a very vibrant Indian community. You know, they are also the same in Malawi. They are over 8,000. And they are the ones that own manufacturing, industries, hotels, social housing, and etc. Now, what do we export here? We do export something, despite that we are a little bit smaller, low in raw materials. So we export pigeon peas, chicks, and the like. Now, for anyone to invest in a country, we are doing the same. We have belonged to all those agreements within the AU. In my side, we have the Southern Africa Development Community, SADC. But we are also in COMESA. We are also on the AU. So if we are looking for the 600 million that they are discussing here, if you invest within Malawi, it's the same. So we'll be talking the same language. Same language. The difference maybe is the terrain and other things that regulate trade. But we're doing the same. Free trade economy and the peace, tranquility that prevails. The same thing for foreign direct investment. Incentives are there. Special economic zones. The same taxes reduced or not even offered for certain, for all investors. Next, please. If you an investor, you want to make money. And that's why it's very important for any country to allow any investor to export back its money, to repatriate the money, especially the profits. So that one is allowed, and that's what that slide is saying. Next slide. Next slide, please. These are the things that I've already explained. India bilateral treaties. Because of the diplomatic relations that we have, there are MOUs between the two governments. So you are not going into a land that your government doesn't know. There is a requirement that the government has already set up. So you find projects being financed by India Export Import, Exim Bank. It's allowed, it's already there. For example, there's a project of water that the so-called Blantyre water board is getting from one of the most beautiful mountains, the Mulanje mountain. We have the third largest mountain in Malawi, in Africa, but it is found in Malawi. Nobody talks about it. Below it, they grow tea. Beautiful. So all those MOUs, inclusive agreement for mineral resources development. So you go into mining, your government has already agreed to do most of the mining activities that side. Next slide. Now, the same thing that my colleagues have been talking about. You, in any country that you go, you should have opportunities. And the following are some of the opportunities that will be around. The public-private partnerships are legally allowed. So you can partner with the government or the private sector. Investment options, whether you are a sole trader or you have money on your own, you will register everything through the Malawi Investment Trade Center, the one-stop center option that other colleagues have been discussing. So companies can be registered within most reasonable time because countries usually they want to know who you are and do due diligence fully. Don't just go into Malawi and then you don't do proper registration. You are supposed to require proper registration with the Malawi Investment Trade Center and the Reserve Bank of Malawi so that you should be able to repatriate your funds when everything is due. Again, the taxation is very important for any investor, and there are tax allowances that allow, like if you want to bring manufacturing equipment, you bring it to Malawi without any taxes. So these are the things that we produce, and that's our farming technology. The same thing, macadamia nuts, coffee. I need some water. Have some water, please. Don't sleep that side. And we grow cotton processing, so you can also invest. It happens in Malawi, but at a small scale. Mining. Precious stones are available. Gold, titanium, ruptiles, they are available. You can go in to invest. That's the tourism sector, the hospitality. You see down there, that's the beautiful lake. Very beautiful. You can put up whatever type of hospitality you want. Next, please. Energy sector. That's the solar farm. You are also required to invest there. And the other one is the geothermal energy. That is also available. You can also invest. Biogas, you do the same. Next, please. In health, we have held about money for hospital, we have Artemis, we have Apollo. We have patients that come here. But you should invest in Malawi plant manufacturing of drugs. So, technology is required for capacity. And engineering, you find well-educated English-speaking youth. Of the 22 million people, 60% are young, similar to my colleagues' presentations. Next, please. Now, these are the key contacts. So you get these key contacts, and I've kept my 15 minutes. Thank you very much.